So we're discussing how Terrapagos, what's it really based on. So one of possibly, I don't think exactly could be based on this, but there are Vishnu is a deity worshipped in Japan as well, part of Japanese kind of ancient culture, which is somewhat influenced by Buddhists. So you can see how they interconnect in that sense. So the turtle is one of Vishnu's avatars called Kurma, and Vishnu is one of the gods that that could represent the supreme consciousness, which is pretty much the ability to just create anything with your mind, your god, right? Duh. And another common story in Hinduism is how the turtle apparently on his back is 8 elephants, or I believe is 8 is the count that they say, or could be 4 in some stories, and they hold up the earth, or the turtle holds up the earth or the world. Or an example, in Native American culture or indigenous and North American, they would say, for example, how the turtle, the sky was falling on the earth, I believe, and the turtle held up. Sorry, the sky was falling into the ocean, and the turtle got some mud from the bottom of the ocean and held it up. So he's holding up Earth, which is pretty much similar to the Pokemon Torterra, but this is more like an esoteric, or kind of like a different type of realm, right? It's more like a cosmic. And a cool thing that a Reddit user posted, optical protein fiber, is he posted, "Am I crazy?" or I don't know who was the source of finding this, or they said Terrapagos looks like a dream catcher in a sense. So dream catchers are, I believe, for having good dreams or making your dreams come true. So it could be also related to that Terrapagos with its ability, even when you can say like lucid dreaming, creating lucid dreaming is knowing you're dreaming and creating anything you want in your dream, and your dream is reality in that moment, right? Or even astral projection, to do with terrestrial or the astral plane, this so-called subtle realm beyond the human senses. So, and I see that angled picture of Terrapagos too from a certain angle, I believe, and it looked almost like Thanos's glove, right? The power glove that can create anything in reality, and this can be a representation of the gems, and these are kind of like the fingers or the hands. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into that, but I definitely thought it looked like Thanos's glove as well, right? And you can also see the colors kind of used in the aura of Terrapagos. It's like near greenish blue. So if you look at the chakra chart, those are like more like intuitive or loving type of color sense. But also the indigo, how we said, is also more of a creative ability using the imagination, right? And in the game here, in the Scarlet and Violet books, those are parent research books. These are some of the things that people wrote in that book for per the game lore. So this is what some characters or researchers apparently wrote. An imagined Pokemon, a drawing of a fantastical Pokemon as envisioned by our sketch artists. The size and ferocity of the strange Pokemon that dwell in Area Zero's lower reaches tickled the artist's imagination, prompting the sketch of what other species that inhabit these depths might look like. And another post of Phantom Memory. During our exploration of Area Zero's depths, Heat strayed from the team and was later found unconscious. When awoken, I could only recall speaking with someone in an unfamiliar place, as if in a dream. I was found holding the page shown here. The handwriting is my own, but I have no memory of writing this. So again, that theme of dreams, they're not sure, this whole conspiracy, if it was real or not. Even if you look at the colors of all these lucid dreaming and astral projection kind of imagery, they use more of the higher frequencies of the colors in the rainbow or the chakra system, right? So also similar to the colors that Terrapagos has overall in its usage, right? Uh, so what is even a lucid dream? A lucid dream is a sense of control and manipulation in lucid dreams. With this control, you can so this is about controlling your dream, right? With this control, you can tailor the dream to your needs, create extraordinary experiences, and push the limits of your imagination. So key right there. You can control the environment, the characters in your dream, and even your own actions in a lucid dream. So instead of being unconscious in your dream, you're actually participating in creating things with your mind, with your imagination. So which is linked to this whole theme of Terrapagos and this whole conspiracy of the paradox Pokemon, right? And this was on Reddit as well, uh, as related to the related to the dream stuff that the professors or the whole dream thing behind Terrapagos is the original professor had a dream of a world in which ancient Pokemon might live alongside. The strength you have gained to destroy the dream Sada once cherished. I will use the time machine to journey to the world of the ancient past that I have dreamed of. So just from the AI professor, AI Sada. Another person on Reddit, the person who posted these said, well, nice catch. If it is modeled after Dreamcatcher and the professor used Terrapagos to help build a time machine, Terrapagos was a Dreamcatcher that caught the professor's dream, a paradox Pokemon, and made it a reality, right? So this whole theory of Terrapagos has the ability to make the imagination real. So it could also be something played on the fact that a lot of Pokemon fans like creating their own Pokemon. It's called Fakeamon through the community has been accepted. So this could be a little play on that too, as in like these people who create their Fakeamon want their Pokemon to be real or imagine them as if they're real Pokemon. So in this game, it's kind of like these conspiracy theorists, or even if they did actually go to the past or future, they're not sure, kind of made these Fakeamon into real Pokemon, right? They even have their own section of the Pokedex apparently, right? And some other themes about Terrapagos and more of like esoteric connection is that this is from the one and only teachings of yoga from Lord Shiva, which is Hinduism and base, but in passage number 31 it says, with intangible breath in the center of the forehead. So as this reaches heart at the moment of sleep, have direction over dreams and over death itself. So personally, I have learned to lucid dream and astral project. The same technique is evolved in those for me from doing it in a manual perspective and going to sleep. Well, in my honest opinion, in my experience, this works. This is a fact. So when you do, the success rate's a bit low, like 10%. You won't always be successful, but that's up to your practice. But basically, an intangible breath. So it's kind of like your pulse or your frequency. Breath in, out, in, out. So when your intangible breath is in the center of the forehead, so kind of focus your pulse on that pineal gland or third eye as you're about to sleep, as your body's about to fall asleep, your mind will stay awake and you can have direction over dreams and over death itself, meaning you can create or control your reality with your imagination, right? So here's a quote about power of imagination. There's a typo here. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world, right? So you're just some imagery of Terrapagos in its baby form is more, and then into its terrestrial form, I believe. And so what can we get from this, right? I believe also that imagination is not something that's only limited to the astral plane or the dream world, right? We use imagination every day in our lives. Even the utensils and things we create to make our more primal natural life easier, right? We create a chair. Somebody imagined and designed what a chair would be, or I guess before we just had primal rocks or something, but imagination creates these things, right? We imagine and create toys. toys for ourselves to play with, right? Even with our pets, we imagine our imagination, and we create these random things for them too, toys for them as well, right? Even example of a leash. A leash is created with someone's imagination. The idea first came from somewhere, right? Even the foods that we eat, the way we cook, we use our imagination to make those things, furniture, everything is all imagination based, right? Even the technology in the future that we envision is all imagination based. So imagination is is something that's imagination is something that consciousness has. So imagination is almost like a how to do something, right? And it's unlimited. You can choose how you want to design, but obviously you're in the parameters of whatever realm you are, right? In the physical realm, you're limited by the laws of nature, but you can still use your imagination. A lot of things, even the sports we play are just these made-up games that we use our imagination. Card games. Then we have more technology using electricity and magnets. We use our imagination to create a computer. And with this computer and data, we play video games. Pokemon itself is a video game, you know. Even artists use their imagination to draw something, whether physically or digitally, right? It's all in the realm of imagination. So, what can we gather from this? Let's focus on the 0 point, the central point of all this, right? Of our consciousness. So, this game and what it represents, the ideas we explored through its esoteric kind of representations that we can see, whether intentional or not, is that we have the ancient past, its own system, its own code of nature, its own properties, right? Then we have this future of technological advancement that makes things easier, you know, of traveling, of using computers, of using data. So us in this sort of primal technology of a human body, right? Whereas we're possibly going through a future of transhumanism or combining, you know, we already use a phone a lot. We're so attached to our phone, but of this more sci-fi idea of attaching technology to ourselves. But from the primitive side, we're limited by our instincts. From the technological side, we're obviously limited by technology's own limits and even not being able to think for ourselves, right? So the central point of all this is our imagination. That's what we truly have for ourselves. What can we imagine in every moment to make anything better, right? Even if it's the worst as it is, even as the best that it is or that you think, we need to imagine to make sure that's the real power that we have, right? It's your imagination, your creative ability. Your creative ability as you as consciousness, that's you evolving. That's us evolving together. That's all the animals and plants and technology evolving with us. So we need to encompass all this. We have to know all these levels. We have to know the primal level, the more basic levels. We have to know the more unified technological level. But we cannot be unconscious from both sides, but we have to harness this energy, the power of the sun, the power of electricity, and the power of our own magnetism, of our own creativity, of attracting and creating these realities for ourselves, right? That's what I want to explore through this, as these vehicles of consciousness. This is a vehicle for consciousness. When we're no longer in this vehicle, we will be in somewhere akin to a dream, some sort of dream world. What is a reality of only mind, of only imagination? If the last thing you're left with is only your imagination, only your belief, only your willpower, that is your reality. So that is the basis for all this, right? And we have to center ourselves in that. And even you can look at the game represents the range of visible light spectrum, what you can see. But what about the things that you cannot see, right? We have Wi-Fi, but you can't see it. It's just something that's detected by devices, right? So even the whole conspiracy point of the game and what it means is like a lot of people are concerned about, excuse me, entities, reptilians, positive entities. So we only see a small spectrum of all these waves of this electromagnetic spectrum. So even the whole reptilian theme of the game, the so-called reptilians are outside of our spectrum, could be affecting us. You know, the whole conspiracy of us being batteries for them, our emotions, negative emotions, creating a leash for them, right, for these entities. But are we giving too much power to these entities by imagining them, right? The same way this game has taught us that what we imagine, this paradox Pokemon, is that what you create. Are we imagining these to be created, or are they real? That is the paradox itself. Are we ourselves, is this all a dream? The dream of the cosmos, of consciousness itself, and we have manifested here ourselves. We are literally in this structured physical dream that it itself is technology and a dream, a video game at the same time as a dream.